Rumbling Bridge Cottage. At the corner of this turning was a much-loved retreat for the pre-Raphaelite painter Sir John Everett Millais, perhaps best known for his 1886 painting of his grandson, William James, dressed in a little Lord Fauntleroy-style velvet costume with a ruffled collar, eventually entitled Bubbles. The painting was bought by the huge soap manufacturers A&F Pears, who added a bar of their soap in the foreground and used the amended portrait as their advertisement. A brilliant masterstroke, and the painting is still associated with the product. Millais' great-great-granddaughter, Fiona Cameron, lives with her family further up Strathbran. Rumbling Bridge Cottage, which Millais rented from 1870 to 1892, was the base for his landscape paintings, and he was familiar with the area. He was also the subject of much public scandal as he fell in love with Effie Gray, whose family came from Perth, but was already married to a fellow artist, John Ruskin. Millais and Effie eloped together and proceeded to marry and have 8 children. As a close friend of Beatrix Potter's father, Rupert Potter, Millais once offered to paint Beatrix's portrait, but Rupert declined, fearful such an event might turn his little girl's head and make her vain. The landscapes he painted here represent a respite from the demands of art and society in London, the same kind of escape that for other Victorians, hunting and fishing throughout Scotland would also provide. Millais remarked that Scotland is like a wet pebble with the colours brought out by the rain. If you stand on Rumbling Bridge, looking up the river, you are gazing at the same spot where he painted The Sound of Many Waters in 1876. This painting now hangs at Fyvie Castle in Aberdeenshire. Millais painted this broad and rocky expanse of the River Bran instead of the nearby more picturesque waterfall by the Rumbling Brig. He worked in rain and snow from a temporary hut on the bank. He wrote to his daughter from here in 1876.
Dearest Mary, I fear that, after all, I shall have to give up my work and finish it next year. There is nothing but snow over all, and I have a cold as well, which makes it positively dangerous to paint out in such weather as this. I've been in my hut this morning, and I hoped a blink of sun would thaw sufficiently the snow on the foreground rocks to enable me to get on. But the storm's on again, and it's simply ridiculous trying to work, as everything is hidden with a white sheet. Your affectionate father, J.E. Millais.
As you cross over the bridge by car and continue up the steep winding hill, the house standing on the rise to your right is Kennacoil, occupied by a member of the Stuart Fotheringham family, owners of the Murthly estate. The story of just how the Stuart Fotheringhams came to own this area unfolds later in the tale. You are now on a section of the old military road. Soon on the left is the old parish church of Laganallachy. Pull in at the main gate and park here for the next track.